Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I appreciate you joining me for another episode. Today we're going to be discussing another 5 types of Night Reign players that you're likely to run across in your expeditions. I did a video about this a week ago or so. We covered 9 different types of players that you are likely to run across, and the community seemed to enjoy it. So, I appreciated the comments. Some even added great additions. So, which we're about to be covering today. I picked a couple of them out, and we're going to be covering some of the more popular ones. If that sounds good to you and you like the content, consider subscribing. Now let's get into it. The Overcommitted Battle Medics. These are the players that drop everything they're doing to go res both down teammates. That in itself is not necessarily a bad thing, but here's the thing. In this specific play, we're referring to when the boss is low HP and it would be more beneficial just to end the fight. You know, focus the boss and end it. But instead, they'd rather be a medic. No situational awareness. Now, I'm all for a good res, don't get me wrong. But, you know, when you're trying to get your 3-bar teammates up, instead of focusing the boss when they're low health, is madness. It's full-on Libra madness, man. And I've been guilty of this a couple times, and a couple of the other ones we're going to be discussing today. So, don't worry if you've been there. Just stop.
Stop it.
Get some help.
Get some help.
Number 2, it's going to be the disappointing fumbler. The guy that's doing really good during day 1 and day 2, and he's slowly lulling you into a feeling of safety, you know? I got your back. Only to completely fall apart during the Night Lord fight. Becomes as useless as a 10-year-old plunger at the McDonald's restroom. As soon as you res them, thinking to yourself, oh, that's just a bad roll catch, no problem. And then the next down happens. Yikes. It's just bad luck. Maybe. And then you see them quickly go down again in the Night Lord fight. And full 3 bars down now, and your brain switches from forgiveness mode to straight up rage. Why rage? Because now the chance of you losing 200 to 600 depth of night points just got very real. You're doing this now with one less teammate on your roster. And number 3, the invader fiend. Now I'm going to use the exact words of the person that posted this, and I'm going to give them credit, but his words were, the ones that will ping a point of interest way across the map and rush to it at level 2, expecting the entire team to go out of their way to boost that one relic, throwing the game immediately when we all get one shot by the Iron Eye. And I read this and I was just cracking up because I've just seen it too many times, and you know, anyways. Now before I get all the hate mail in the comments, I do love me some invader camps. Lots of runes, great weapons, you can use them early game too, and of course the passive, those sweet, sweet passives. But this specific type of player cannot fathom that there's a better route, and maybe you don't always have to get, you know, one of the invader camps. Sometimes it's best to do it early, and sometimes it's not. Map dependent. But if you're expecting the whole team just to take a trip through Narnia all the way to that camp on the edge of the map, no, brother, just no. But you can't talk sense into these people, and usually they're going to be the lone wolf until they either die repeatedly and leave, all while cursing their stupid teammates for not coming, or they're coming back solo, that whole thing, and come back with an arsenal, laughing all the way. But that second one is few and far between, and PSA, stay with your team if at all possible. Alright, number 4 is the noob. Has like 10 hours in the game, stands around until someone else pings. Credit to who's listed on the screen. Anyways, when I saw this post, I was laughing hard again, because depending on the mood of the day, sometimes I'm still like this person. But in this specific case, we're talking about the person who just doesn't know. It's not their fault, we've all been there, but it's still fun to observe the noob in their natural habitat. If you've played a game, you know, not too much, no one's expecting you to come out here and ball out. I personally have over 2,000 hours in Elden Ring, big flex, and it still took me a while to get the hang of Night Reign. Shoot, maybe I still don't. You know, I am the newbie nurse after all. I do often try to help these players, you know, if I see them in a looking for group post or something, but to be honest, I just enjoy watching them run around the map completely lost just as much. If I'm in the main castle, for example, on day 2, fighting the bell-bearing hunter in the basement, and they're dying, 2 miles off, fighting a random foot soldier in a day 1 encampment, you know. No hate to my fellow players out there, the new ones, and I love to see the new players coming in, but I'm going to have a few laughs along the way too. And number 5, we've got the leaver, or as I like to call it, the quitter. No need to get too technical on this one. The name kinda gives it away. But this is the person that quits the team in the face of adversity. The one who cannot stand the fact that you failed to pick them up when they went down. Even if that down was their fault and they're off on their own somewhere, this is the person that leaves after 1 death, to a night invader camp. Like, brother, deep breath, we can come back from this. But at this point, the rage is boiled up from many previous losses, and it's bleeding into your game now. They can't take it anymore, and of course now it's time to buy a new controller because they've smashed theirs to bits in a fit of rage. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. No need for a long one. I appreciate the people that had some of the liked comments from my previous types of Night Rain players you'll encounter video. I hope they don't mind them giving them credit. I just wanted to make sure they were appreciated. But if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for some more content. Drop me a like and a comment expressing which type of player you see the most in Night Rain. And don't forget, if you haven't seen my previous video, check it out. I'll have it linked at the end of the video. Peace.